Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello everyone, so I don't normally share the details of my trades aside from when I'm doing it live in front of members and saying when I'm entering and exiting, so I'm already sick of the messages that I'm getting, so I'm just going to show you how a trader can adapt to changes in their game plan and in their trading expectations and still be profitable when things don't go their way and don't turn out as expected. So I'm getting all the messages now, oh, we didn't dump and V-shaped bounce like you were looking for, you're wrong, technical analysis doesn't work, all that hogwash. And I just want to show what trade management is. So I've got some screenshots of my trades and I've put them on the chart here. So we'll start off the game plan. As of yesterday, I was looking for a gap down open, which we got, and a flush climax and bounce first thing, which we got. It was just very quick with no follow through. We bounced 5% in 5 minutes. I chose WEED and Cron as my entries, and I stuck to my game plan. I entered not full capital. Again, I highlighted how many times yesterday that we need to keep capital on the side to be protective, but I entered positions maybe a third of capital and looked for the trade to play out and very quickly recognized this is not the bounce that I'm looking for. This is not the follow through that I'm looking for. So here, let's just start it off with the start of the day, and you can see how many orders I was placing. I was very, very active. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 orders all within the first, I don't know, 20 minutes of trading, 30 minutes of trading. So initially I did market orders to enter. I did TWMJF. I bought 10,000 shares at 21.59 and then very quickly started to exit those shares. So I bought them at 21.59 and then I started to scale out. 22.25, locking in small profit to give me more wiggle room before I'm break even. Then I sold another 2,000. Let's see, that one I canceled. So I sold another 2,000 at 21.90. Again, still profit. And then I sold another 4,000 just under what my purchase price was. But again, because I locked in that small profit, I'm still slightly in the green on that trade. So the first green bar is my entry. And by the time I got filled on that market order, it was right here on the candlestick. I exited 20% of the position, or 25% of the position, 25% of the position right near the high of the day. And then I exited the rest as soon as we dropped back down. And I said, all right, the bulls are not following through. And I was using the 2-minute time frame to be my guide, and at the entry, I could see the clear bear break was right here where we had the bounce. We pulled back, and as soon as we broke 21.69, these two little lows, that's when I exited, or actually that's when I did press my sell market order, but because everybody was exiting at the same time, I got a pretty poor fill on it. But either way, it was right around my break-even point. So the bottom line is the trade did not go as anticipated. I still walked away from this exchange with a small amount of profit and back to all cash ready to play again. And I did make another rebuy into TWMJF later in the morning once the 5-minute time frame, after I did that update video that I posted. Once the 5-minute time frame gave us our first 5-minute higher low and higher high, I re-entered a small position and then exited that later in the day. I currently hold no positions, and that is because, again, the trade game plan did not go as I was looking for it to. So I'm going to lock in my profit, have a successful trading day, and take it with a fresh, clean slate tomorrow. I made more profit with Cron. So same thing. I entered TWMJF. At the same time, I was entering Cron, 20,000 at 540 and then 10,000 at 551. So let's look at that entry. Entered right near the low of the first drop. Nice entry there. And then the second entry, so both green lines are at my entries on the way up. And then I saw, oh, things aren't looking the way they are. And as I'm bailing on TWMJF, I'm bailing on Cron as well. So you can see from my buy to my sell, each one, my sell is higher than my buy. So I locked in small profit on this move back to all cash, waiting for the bulls to show back up. So then once we dropped down to lower lows, I said, all right, the hourly RSI is still down in the teens. That hasn't changed. So while we didn't get the initial bounce that I was looking for right at the open, I'm still looking for this bounce. So I re-entered positions after locking in small profit on the failed initial bounce. I bought 5,000 Cron at 522. So again, just finding that on the chart all the way down here at 522. I re-entered 3,000 Cron at 513 and 3,000 at 519. So back to Cron. Let's see where 513 was. Pretty much nailed the bottom on that market order. And then 519 for my last purchase is down at right there. So there's my 3 additional buys after the failed initial attempt. Those are my 3 buys, and obviously I was profitable on those later in the day. I held on to those for a little bit longer. And then for TWMJF, I re-entered at 2060. So back to TWMJF where it was 2060. That was all the way down here. So obviously, again, opportunity for small profit later in the day. So I'm not highlighting this to say, look at me, I still made profit. I'm highlighting this to say, this is how a trader reacts and adjusts to changes in the game plan as it's unfolding. And again, as you can imagine, if I have 12 orders in the first 15 minutes of trading, I was constantly adjusting. You can see my cancels. I was canceling and moving orders around as things shifted. And it was the initial recognition of, okay, it's not the ideal scenario with the V-shaped bounce that I was looking for. I need to exit these positions at small profit or break even and then reassess the situation. Reassessing the situation allowed me to re-enter orders cheaper. Cron, obviously the highlight with these low entries here. And it allowed me to have a very profitable day today. And if I had every day like today, it's going to be a very good year. So again, it did not go exactly as planned. But when I make these videos the night before, obviously things are going to change. Trump and his tariffs and that news changed things. The open, where we see the gap down open, how far of a gap down open is it? What are the market makers doing pre-market as they adjust the bid and the ask? These are all factors that go into analysis. So if you're trying to use analysis, that's not up to the minute, it's not going to work as well. So I was very pleased with the way I was able to maneuver today's trading and still end up on top. And hopefully, that's just an example where things can go not according to plan, but as long as you are agile and able to adjust and able to move very quickly. And again, this comes with years of experience. You shouldn't be expecting to be able to do this in 1 or 2 years of practice. This is 8 years deep for me at this point. So very comfortable changing game plans on the fly and reacting to these short-term situations. So just want to highlight, again, technical analysis absolutely allowed for a profitable trading day today, even though it didn't go tick for tick with what the ideal scenario would have been. So let's check in now where we stand. And again, I am all cash because I wanted to lock that profit in. It was not the setup I was looking for. It's not the hourly setup that I'm looking for. Number one, the hourly RSI levels are no longer at the extremely oversold point, which had the entry so attractive to me. So we have the high of our bounce is resistance at this point, 28.05. And we have support down at 26.47. We have this little consolidation low. So a little consolidation before continuation. We have a bull MACD cross coming to form here, but the bottom line is the RSI is no longer oversold. We formed a bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame. If the bulls are going to confirm this and see follow through, we have to break the high of the high of today. Every individual name for Canadian MJ wants to break the high of today tomorrow to try and confirm the candlestick and see follow through. So resistance of 28.80 is a key level for the bulls to break, but they're going to have to break the hourly high first. 28.05 and then 28.80. A red flag tomorrow would be an inability to break 28.80 or an inability to break 28.80 is really the level, because if we don't break that level tomorrow, we're very likely to form a daily inside bar. And on a daily inside bar, I always want to wait for the break of the daily inside bar, which would likely happen on Friday. So essentially, it's break 28.80 and see continuation, or fail to break 28.80 and tighten up on the hourly time frame in a bit of an equilibrium pattern. So that's what I'm looking at on WEED. APH, bullish reversal candlestick from oversold conditions on the daily time frame. Similar setup where we got the hourly bounce. Again, we haven't really established a higher low on the hourly, which is another reason that I was cautious in taking some profit today and not wanting to swing overnight, just because this hourly chart is due for some consolidation. Had I seen the final 20, 30 minutes of trading, there was enough bull momentum there that I likely would have elected to swing at least a partial position, but I didn't stick around long enough to see that end of the day action. So checking in on the resistance here, it's 10.05, and then the next level I'm looking at is 10.34. So again, have to break the high of today to try and confirm the reversal candlestick tomorrow. And support, I'm looking at 9.53. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, you can find other support levels. Very clear 15-minute higher low pattern on APH. So I would say support is 9.68 and 9.53. And you look at WEED on the 15-minute time frame, very similar, clear supports. So I would use the 15-minute tomorrow to see if the bulls can maintain these higher lows. 2678 and 2647 on WEED are those 15-minute higher lows. If we lose the 15-minute higher lows, we then look to the hourly chart for the bulls to try and form an hourly higher low, and that's when the potential equilibrium setup will occur. On ACB, again, bullish reversal candlestick on the daily. It was definitely a laggard today to these big four. ACB was. So it has a red candlestick still with the other two in the green. It is a bullish reversal spinning top candlestick from daily oversold conditions. Hourly resistance, you can see the bounce is not as strong. I'm looking at a couple resistance levels. We've got resistance at 778. And then again, the high of the day has to break for the bulls, 796. If we look at the 15-minute time frame for those clear higher lows, they are still there, just not as strong and convincing. 752 and 751. So that's the must-hold 751, essentially a double bottom, and that's the most important level tomorrow morning. Same thing, if we lose the 15-minute higher low pattern, the hourly chart is going to head back down towards those lows. So the most important thing for tomorrow morning for these bulls is the high of today and the 15-minute higher low pattern. If the 15-minute higher low is lost before we break the high of the day, the odds of a break and continuation are a lot less likely. Today was the ideal day for this sector to bounce, and it just didn't do it. And I say that because the S&P 500, again, I know the correlation comes and goes, but S&P 500, again, ideal day. If the MJ sector is going to bounce and see things turn around quickly, this would have been it. And that was another reason. I was saying, all right, the SPY bulls are going for it, and we're not seeing any correlation for the bulls. So that means I need to be cautious, because if we pull back on SPY, we could absolutely see a bearish correlation. Just because we're not seeing a correlation on the way up doesn't mean that market weakness can't hurt these individual Canadian MJ names. So again, that was another factor I was watching and saying this bounce should be stronger than this, specifically with, the RSI level so oversold and the fact that the market is bouncing so strong. So Cron on the daily time frame, big bullish reversal candlestick, just about oversold on the daily, but not there yet. Hourly time frame had a strong move at the end of the day, and that's got to be after hours here. So that's after hours. We did close in the 560s. So we'll ignore this candlestick for now. I'm going to say resistance, key level to break is 570, and then that was the high of the day. So a much different scenario. 570 breaking will be on our way to confirm the bullish reversal candlestick. Just in terms of where we stand right now, Cron, strongest bounce, ACB, weakest bounce. And I'm not sure if that's percentage-wise, but I'm just talking about the candlestick formation and where we closed at the end of the day. So 570, key level to break. Then we're looking at 6 psychological for continuation. Solid volume on these candlesticks on everybody. Potential climaxes. We look for climaxes to signal temporary tops or bottoms, and that is looking like a potential bottom on these 4. So Cron on the 15-minute time frame, that higher low pattern. Support is 555. And then we're looking down at 539 and 528. So again, clear 15-minute higher lows. Bulls need to break the high of yesterday, high of today, as soon as possible tomorrow morning to give confidence for continuation. Because think about it. Think about psychologically. If you got traders and investors sitting on the sidelines saying, I want to get in, but I'm not sure the bulls can follow through. If you break that high of yesterday in the first 20 minutes of trading, that convinces bulls saying, all right, I'm getting in for this move and continuation. If you don't, and you pull back for an hour, that convinces people to maybe say, all right, I'm going to lock some of that profit in from yesterday because this bounce is not following through. So the psychological impact of the first 30 minutes of trading is very important to see whether we get continuation or not. So that's where we stand. Hopefully this video helped a little bit. But again, managing positions, that's what it's all about in terms of, technical analysis isn't an end-all in terms of, oh, you read the books and you read the definitions of things, and now you think you can be a successful trader. That's not it. It's psychological and emotional control as well as trade management, and this video is that example of trade management, entering and exiting quickly, re-entering, averaging down, having cash on the side to continually manage positions, and end up profitable when a scenario doesn't play out the way you anticipate. So essentially, I would say today was a bad day. And bad in the sense that, again, the charts didn't do what the ideal scenario was in terms of this bounce. But to be able to be profitable on a bad day is certainly a good thing when you think about what happens on good days when you're really profitable. So appreciate you watching. Feel free to ask any questions in the YouTube comments. And let's continue to try and learn and be better traders. Thanks for watching.